The current Feenagh Kilmeedy GAA club was founded in 1955. The club was an amalgamation of existing clubs in both Feenagh and Kilmurry. This amalgamation under the guidance of Reverend David Cannon Wall actually took place in 1954 under the name of St. Ita's. The name of the club was changed to Feenagh Kilmeedy GAA Club in 1955, the club that currently exists in the parish today. The game of football was very much to the fore in the early days of Gaelic games in the parish. Feenagh home rulers were successful in many tournaments. Many of the cups and trophies survive down to the present day. Hurling, the first game in the parish today, began to gain popularity during the second decade in this century. The game was played in both Feenagh and Kilmeedy. Kilmeedy became the prominent club in the parish during the 1920s. During the 1930s and 1940s, hurling was played by the club in Con McCarthy's front field. From there, the club took up a field from John Irwin at the rear of Feenagh Church in 1947. This field has been used by both Feenagh and later Feenagh Kilmeedy for exactly 50 years to date. Those instrumental in getting the club off the ground were Reverend David Cannon Wall, Sean King, Rory Kiley and Tom Hatchett. In its first year, the club was successful in winning the West Junior Hurling title. The next success came in 1960, when the West Junior Championship was won. The year 1962 was the first of two memorable years for the club, when they became county junior champions. In 1963, Feenagh Kilmeedy were upgraded to senior level, having won the junior title in 1962. It was the highlight year for a club only in existence 8 years, winning the senior county hurling title for the first and only occasion. The side was captained by Pat Murrahy and defeated Emmets, a divisional side from South Limerick, by a score of 3-6 to 3-1. The club won its first West Under-21 title in 1972, defeating Drumcolliher in the final. A new leaf will be turned in the history of Gaelic games in the parish of Feenagh Kilmeedy with the opening of Park Keeveen O'Loon. The culmination of approximately 6 years of work will come to fruition and will undoubtedly be recalled for generations to come.
What can you remember about the Long family in hurling?
They were great hurlers from that day. Kevin was the best one I'd ever hurled with Limerick and you want him.
Kevin was a hardy boy.
Hardy boy. Was he a good hurler?
Ah, great hurler. Huh? Oh, I knew him better than we.
You knew him well, did you? When he was a young lad?
I knew him well. I got him very great. Terrible stuff on Kevin.
But I played against him in a county final. He was playing with Western Gales in 1962. And he was wing back, and Kilmallock were up 11 points at half time, but we were beaten. And Kevin went centre back that day, and he made a big contribution at centre back.
How many did he score that day, do you remember?
I wouldn't be sure how much he scored that day, but I remember the county final the year after in 1963, when they met South Liberties, South Limerick, the Emmets, and he definitely got a goal from a 21. I'd say he'd done the biggest part of the scoring from centre back that day in the county final.
Oh, I'm a local. I came from Newtown Shandram, actually.
You're not too far away.
Oh, no. I was born in Feenagh. You were born in Feenagh? I won the West in 41 with Feenagh.
Is that right?
Yes. We played a skating.
And tell me a history about this field. What is how much did it take to make it like this?
Well, I couldn't say that now, not being having left the parish for a good few years. It has cost a good few pounds. I met this gentleman across. I've been in Canada with this chap in my time. Oh, yes.
Do you remember Kevin Long?
I do well, of course. I knew Kevin Long very well.
What kind of a fella was he now, in your opinion?
I suppose I should describe him anyway. He was a gentleman to his fingertips. I know all the Long family, actually.
And I believe that all the brothers played hurling with Feenagh.
I have a son married to daughter of Morrigan's, that is Mrs. McCarthy.
Right.
Yeah.
There you are now.
O'Connor is my name.
Kevin, the youngest of 7 brothers who played hurling with Feenagh Kilmeedy. He learned his early hurling in the front field of his home in Kilmurry. His parents were Julia May and William Long. He grew up in a down-to-earth and no-nonsense hurling atmosphere. Every Sunday, the boys from Kilmurry would play against teams from Gurteen, Cloncripa and other surrounding townlands. Kevin's first competitive club game was with the Feenagh Juveniles in the Limerick Leader Cup in 1946. He also played with Feenagh Minors that got to the West Final in 1947. On leaving Feenagh National School, Kevin attended Rathlure CBS. There he played on the Dr. Harty Cup team without achieving any success. In 1954, he played in the Munster College's interprovincial team that was beaten by Leinster in the final. Donnie Nealon, Munster Council Secretary, was also on that team. Kevin won a West Junior Championship medal with Feenagh Kilmeedy in 1955. In 1957, Kevin emigrated to America, where he played hurling with the Limerick Club in New York. There he won a St. Brendan's Cup medal. The year 1962 will long be remembered as one in which Feenagh Kilmeedy finally captured the junior hurling title. That year also saw Kevin Long back with the men in blue. The game was played on November 25th at Kilmallock. At half-time, Feenagh Kilmeedy were leading by 3-6 to 0-4, and the full-time score was 5-11 to 2-6. The Irish Press Cup was presented to Captain Rory Kiley. 1962 was Kevin's first year as county captain, a role which he filled for the next 2 years. He received a Sports Star of the Year award from the Irish Independent in 1966 for his display against Tipperary, and received the same award from the Irish Press and the Irish Independent in February 1967 for his display against Cork in the National Hurling League. He received a Cuchulainn Award also in 1967. This was the predecessor to the present-day All-Star Awards. Kevin was very appreciative of the leadership qualities of the late Reverend David Cannon Wall and the disciplined training of Jim Noonan in helping him develop as a hurler. His advice to young players was always have a hurley in your hand.
Here now at the front of the old house where Kevin learned all his hurling.
Is that right? And did you teach him much of it yourself?
We showed him how to get tough.
Is that right? Hardened them up. Hardened them up. Right. How old would that builder be now, Pat?
Nobody knows the age of it, you know. I've been trying to find out.
Right.
But I'll have to go to somewhere in Dublin to get the origin of it, you know.
The origin.
It was built by a landlord, anyway.
Right. In fact, that was going back a long time, I'd say.
Oh, it must have been 200 years ago, anyway.
Right.
At least 200 years.
And who was in it before you? So was the Longs the first people here?
There weren't, oh, no. My mother was Geary.
Geary, right.
And there were 2 girls.
Right.
In that family, and my father married in there.
Right.
He was from Feenagh.
Your father's name was?
Willie Long.
Did he play hurling?
No.
Not a bit. So where did you just pick it up, or?
I'd say like it was in the parish, you know.
Right.
In our young days, and you automatically went hurling.
Right.
You know what they used to say here? That you either played go hurling or go mad.
Right. And you played the hurling?
Played the hurling, yeah.
Any obvious?
In my family.
In your family?
There were 9 of us.
9. Who's the eldest?
Brendan.
Brendan. Who's next?
Tom.
Maureen.
Myself.
Right.
Liam. Una, Stephen, Mossy, Stephen and Kevin.
And Kevin. That's the history of them all.
That's the rotation now.
That's the rotation. There you are.
Now.
Fabulous view too. Like you have the hills there and all.
Yes, and you know when these trees weren't there at all.
Right.
And you had a view right over to Kilmeedy.
Right.
Which is 15 miles away.
15 miles away.
Yeah.
As the crow flies.
As the crow flies. Exactly.
This was the long GAA pitch, was it?
It was, yes. Exactly.
Had you a nickname on the field, or did you call it anything in particular?
It was known as the lawn field.
Right.
Yeah.
The lawn field. It's actually very good quality grass and everything in it.
There is, yeah, but it's newly receded.
Right.
It's after being receded.
And during the week...
How will you see the quality in grass now, Shea?
Yeah, it's right. The quality is down here. And how many evenings a week would you play?
Every evening.
Every evening.
And after Mass on Sunday from that until night.
Right.
Hurling kept continually.
Right. And you
all the young lads would be hurling. And if we hadn't our matches here, we'd have arranged the match some other where, and we'd be playing against a team, you know.
Right. And the goals, how did you make goals, or with the big bit
we
of
put
stick?
down temporary goals, all right. You know.
Right.
And we'd have someone there to decide whether it was a score or not, you know.
There was no luxuries.
And they'd be aroused over it, and it was and it wasn't.
And would there be ever a little bit of a row on the field, like the boys?
Oh, no, that never happened.
That never happened?
No.
It was kind of skill learning and everything?
Yeah, there was never that in it. But 'twould be hard stuff, though.
Right.
'Twould be man-for-man stuff.
And who would you kind of consider as the hardiest now in them days when you were playing? Who was feared of on the field?
There wasn't any fear like that, except like you'd fear that a fella would be too good for you.
Right.
But so far as being afraid of him, no.
No, you wouldn't be
none
afraid
of that. No, not in my book anyway.
Right.
That a fella would be better than you, he'd be faster than you or something. You'd fear that.
Right. And the kind of the tips, what makes a good hurler? Like, how would you dictate that a fellow was good?
Speed is the most important thing.
Right.
How fast you are.
How fast with the pick up and
with the
strike?
pick up, yes, and the strike. And the rate you were able to run it, like, you know, some fellas are much faster than others, you see.
Right.
We'd say you're anticipating the ball is going to be such a place, like, and if you're fast enough to get the dash, you're first to it.
Right.
And possession was 99% of the game.
Right.
Get there first.
Get there first, right. So I believe, like, over the years, a good few of you have played on teams together, like to be 4 or 5 brothers at a time.
Yeah.
5 as longs on the team.
Some people said like the 7, but I don't ever remember there were 7 boys in the family.
Right.
And I don't think the 7 boys ever played, but I know there's the 6 of us that played together.
Right.
We played in Drumcollar one day, the 6 of us.
Right.
Liam was a priest and he wasn't at home from Africa, but
right.
he was allowed to huddle when he was home.
Okay.
But and he wasn't there that day.
When Kevin was younger, what was he like now? Was he always with the...
He was always dedicated to hurling.
To hurling.
Yeah.
From what age now?
And I'd say he was the most dedicated one
of the bunch.
Yes.
I suppose he got good training off you, didn't he?
He did, yeah, but he took it very serious altogether.
Right, where maybe...
He was good, of course, and a fella that's good, like, is all right, but...
He lived for it, like?
He lived for it, yes, and another fella, like, if you weren't that good, you'd lose interest in it, you know, you'd be beaten too often. And,
yeah.
You know, you'd meet fellas too good for you.
I suppose, and he had to carry on the reputation too, like, if he was looking good, he'd have to follow through and...
That's true.
Produce the goods, as the fella says.
It was expected of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There
but he paid terrible attention to physical fitness and, you know.
Right. And what would he do to keep fit? He worked on the farm, is that right?
He used to walk a lot.
Walk a lot?
Yeah, but of course he'd do a lot of the huddling and running and all that sort of thing, but he used to walk a lot then at night.
And the average diet for a good hurler in them days was? Yeah. Bacon and cabbage?
Bacon and cabbage was good for any fella. Put hair on your head.
Put hair on your chest as well, wouldn't it?
Put hair on your chest.
The search for a permanent home for Gaelic games in Feenagh, Kilmeedy was a very long one. After a long wait, the club purchased grounds from Seamus Stack at Clonrusk, Feenagh in March 1991. The club was pleased to no end. At last they had a home. But a lot of work had to be put in motion to create a worthwhile field. The chairman of the club at the time of purchase was Senator Rory Kiley. He, along with the club committee and membership, drew up plans for the development and applied for a FOSS social employment scheme. This scheme was approved and funded under the European Social Fund. The work was carried out under the good offices of FOSS. Subsequently, Jim McQuaid himself, a former hurler of note with his native Fiona in Limerick, was the supervisor of the scheme. His work, along with his dedicated team, commenced on the 7th of September 1992 for a period of 1 year. During this time, the field was drained extensively and fenced off. The Foss scheme recommenced in March 1994 until March 1997.
Well, the work started back in 1991 when Rory Clyde was chairman. He got a committee. Well, he was the man that really got behind the purchase of the field, and himself and some other people approached Seamus Stack, and Seamus was very willingly and sold the field, which started in with the Foss in 1992 under Jim Quaid, and tremendous work was done by the Foss workers and by many other members of the committee who helped out along the line to bring to the field to the present status as it is tonight.
Are you from around this locality?
I'm from the far end of the county. I'm from a place called Gal Valley.
That's County Limerick.
Oh, definitely County Limerick.
County Limerick is right. Tell me, what's your impression of the grounds here today?
Excellent, excellent. I think it's a wonderful achievement by the people involved here in the Feenagh Club. I think it's a credit to them, and I hope that it will be respected by the generations to come. So that when they come here, that they will think of, you know, visionary men that decided to set a field of this magnitude and here in this historic part of West Limerick.
And what do you think of the pitch?
I think it's, from what I'm told, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it looks lovely.
And the weather was good to us too.
Absolutely beautiful.
And are you going to predict the score for us tonight?
I haven't a clue, Shay. Not really. You'd
Once
want
Limerick wins, you'll be happy.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Are you from Feenagh?
Well, I'm here 40 years in June, and I had a few good years hurling with this man.
Is that right?
After coming down, isn't that right, Steve?
And you won a county senior
We
medal?
won three in a row senior county medals. 61, 62 with Western Gales, 63 with Feenagh Kilmeedy.
Except I wasn't on the Western Gales team.
I know.
I can never understand why, but I wasn't.
What do you think of the pitch?
I think it is fabulous. Fabulous. It is indeed, yeah.
Small parish.
For the
And the stand, having a stand of that calibre outside kind of a city, it's fabulous, isn't it?
It is, and all credit due to Rory and his committee. Rory being the prime mover. There has to be a prime mover, and that was Rory.
And Pat was actually showing me the field where you learned your hurling skills now behind the house in Kilmurray. What's your memories of playing in that field?
Well, I spent all of my youth on that field, and I can't understand why I wasn't better as a result. It defies me.
And he said you used to do 3 laps of that field to warm up, and
That's a bit of an exaggeration now. I think so.
he was telling me
You didn't do 3 laps, Tom, when you were young lad in Newtown, warming up. There were no warm-ups in those days, Shay. No. Now they have warm-downs as well, you know that. You warm up and you warm down. No warm-up, no warm-up.
And if I ask you the memories now playing with Kevin when you were coming up, what age group were you now when you really started into the hurling?
Kevin, I was 4 and Kevin was 3. And we were at each other's throats for about the next 10 years. Until we got into our teens, and then we kind of diversified and began to help each other rather than rather than clobber each other.
But that's what hardened you up, isn't that right?
That's it, that's it.
And who was Kevin's idol now in the hurling field?
I suppose Mick Mackey have to be.
What area was he in?
He would be the 30s and 40s, mainly 30s. So we would be just young.
And we just tug out, and I believe you have the boots here with you tonight, just in case.
In the boot of the car, and I have the helmet and the shin guards, and the gun to self-destruct if it doesn't work.
And can you predict the score for us here tonight now?
Oh yeah, I'd say it'll be 12-0 to the All Blacks.
And can you predict the score for us?
Oh, it is hard. I'd say 17 points for Limerick and maybe 10 for Cork.
Yes. So, what's your first impressions now when you walked in?
Oh, lovely evening, and it's gorgeous to be here. We're thrilled to be here.
And the gate and everything, his name.
Lovely. Oh, I haven't, no.
There's an arch there with the keeping no along.
Where is it, down this side, is it? I was going to look at no, well, I was afraid we'd be late, so I said I'd come straight in. But we're delighted to be here, and it's a great honour, and he was a great man.
Limerick, your lady, your shining waters, tears of joy did flow. The beauty that surrounds you, I'll take it with me, love, wherever I go. While waking in the arms of distant water, and you defines me far away from home.
What do you think of the place?
Beautiful. Great tribute to a great man. Great tribute.
You just got here, did you?
Just after arriving, yeah. Just arriving. It's my first time being here since when I thought it was being developed. But it is a great honour for me today as chairman of Mungra Club to be here, because Kevin, as you know, shared his allegiance between Feenagh originally and then ourselves. Yeah.
I got a shot of Mungra Club there. Can you tell me the years Kevin carried out now with Mungra Club, which is?
Kevin was involved for a period of about 7 or 8 years, but first of all at senior level, Shea, and then he became involved with the minor team. And I suppose our greatest night down there was our greatest day was the day we won the county minor. And Kevin, on an individual basis with that particular team, worked with the team on an individual basis and collectively. A lot of it done behind the scenes that no one knew anything about. Advised players on how to play the game and improving on their skills and advising them of their weaknesses. And no one knew anything about it. He was doing it on a one-to-one, never raised his voice, and did it in a very nice way.
It was behind the scenes?
Oh, totally behind the scenes. He was very linked with his great friend Pa Bryan, who was manager of that team. And they were great friends. I think he was planned strategy blow over a few pints of a Friday night. And he was a great visitor. He called every Friday night to the clubhouse below. And himself and Pa Bryan used to discuss plans and so on.
Plenty of hurling tactics talked about, I'd say, over a pint of Guinness.
Yes, I think it was all hurling tactics, yeah. Because it was a subject that was very close to both their hearts. And they discussed it, and I suppose the nights that they get together discussing and the team and the make-up of the team and so on played a big part in us winning that minor championship.
Well, thanks for recalling those memories, and I hope you enjoy the match. Can you predict the score for us tonight?
Well, challenge matches are always, I suppose, hopefully it could end up that these two teams will play in the Munster Championship, I suppose. And I think to be fitting, even if we won by a point, would satisfy us.
And you defines me far away from home. Then Limerick, you're my lady, the one true love that I have ever known. As children, you and I spent endless days of fun in winter snow or summer's golden sun.
What's your first impression now of the pitch?
Oh, gee, it couldn't be better, sir.
Isn't it fabulous?
Beautiful,
Fabulous.
yeah.
And I think somebody was looking after us with the weather. Isn't the weather great too? I want a few memories now, Pa, of your hurling days with Kevin. When you look back, what can you remember?
Well, he used to come to all the matches, like, and And he was involved with the minor when we won the county minor and so on like that. He wasn't the selector that year, but he was working behind the scenes like. And he was with us involved in an under 16. That particular team, because he was involved from 15, 16 upwards, like, he knew him all the time.
He knew the lads. And did you ever play against him on the field?
No, I've never played. I wasn't up to that standard at all.
Is that right?
No.
Tell me, you probably remember now him in his good days in the 70s.
I do, of course. I do remember him hurling. He was a great hurler, sir.
Right.
I remember him playing centre back there, great hurler.
Right. And what do you think of the stand here? Isn't it great to see?
It's great hard to get, sir. In a country place like this.
In a country place, it costs a lot of money to put something like that up.
Oh, sure, it must have. It must have cost an amount. Yeah.
Definitely. A lot of fundraising.
Let's see, according to the paper, it cost 250,000, like.
If we could have your attention now for the commencement of the official opening of this magnificent park. First of all, Kate Fáilte we've got dinner on Shohanocht. This is probably the greatest day in the history of Feenagh Kilmeedy.
Well, as club chairman, I welcome everyone here tonight. It's a glorious evening, and we're blessed with the weather. And just a bit of history on the field. This field was bought from Seamus Stack in 1991, which was formerly owned by the late Jim Noonan. And as everybody can see here tonight, it's the wonderful work that has been done here. And as Seamus has already said, the force workers, under the supervision of Jim Quaid, they done Trojan work here. And also I would like to thank all the voluntary workers we got when there was work to be done here. They came when we wanted them, and this is the fruition of it here tonight. Also, I think it's very fitting that the field should be called after Kevin Long. I've seen him hurling myself, and I thought he was a brilliant hurler, but I was only young for him when I was watching him. But I think it's only fitting that this field should be named after him. I welcome both teams, Cork and Limerick, here tonight, and I hope we'll have a brilliant game of hurling, and I wish both teams the best of luck in the championship. Also, I want to welcome the referee, John Sexton, and his officials, and hopefully with this final evening and all, we'll have a cracking over game of hurling. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, Reverend Fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is a great honour to be here this evening on such a wonderful occasion for the people of Feenagh Kilmeedy, and more especially for the GAA here. I think in a very short few years, magnificent work has been done here under the guidance of Jim Quaid. I think Jim Quaid has laid out a magnificent pitch here, and I think himself and the workers that worked under him will be always proud, and the people of Feenagh owe a deep debt of gratitude to each and every one of them for the magnificent pitch you have here this evening. I think it is fitting this evening that you pay tribute to one of the many great men who have done the blue and white of Feenagh, and who have also honoured our county on many an occasion, because many a player has come from this parish and has given wonderful service. And I think it is fitting here also this evening that we pay tribute to one of a great family, one of 7 brothers. I refer to the late Kevin Long. I think he had the distinguished honour of playing not alone with his parish, with his 6 brothers, but he also had the distinguished and the honour of wearing the green and white of Limerick and the blue also of Munster. And he wore every one of them with distinction. And this evening, it is a fitting tribute that you honour him with naming this field after him. I think that's a magnificent gesture by the club. Also, I would like to pay tribute to all the club officers who have worked so hard in the interest of providing a field, because I have always considered that no club is a finished club until it owns a field of its own. And having a field of its own, it is like a second home for the players. It is like a second home for the families who know where their kids are in the evening. And I think Feenagh Kilmeedy has done a magnificent job. And for the boys and girls who will for many years go along and playing this field, I think the parents are very, very happy to know that they're in safe surroundings in the times that we face at the present moment.
And it's what's very exciting to see all the Long family here, who have, every one of them have given great service to the club, and they have come from across the Irish Sea to be present here tonight to see this pitch being called to memorize a great hurler who gave great service, especially to this club, to the county, and to the Munster. And afterwards, as an administrator, we were selected of minors and senior inter-county teams, and also a trainer of our local team here in Feenagh Kilmeedy. It is nice to see John O'Halloran, who played against him in Killarney in 1966, and Donny himself played with him and against him. And we said the regional manager of course, I suppose, Phil Duggan, who played also with Cork at the time of Kevin, and probably played against Donny Neal and Jim Quaid and Kevin. It is great that they are here tonight to witness a fitting memorial being ensured that his memory of the player will live on. I would also like to be associated with the chairman of our one club in thanking all those who made this possible tonight, especially, I suppose, when we called for St. Dublin early 19, Denny Barry and myself in his office in Limerick in early 1992 to get a first team into motion here in Feenagh. Pat Potter was there, and they were very acceptable to our proposals. They cooperated fully with us. Subsequently, John Collins. And I think what you've seen here tonight is an indication of what first teams can do for rural Ireland in the future or at present. I would also like to pay tribute to both Liam Milan and Paddy O'Hanlon. I see him down there. For their advice, Liam in the initial stages and Paddy subsequently during the course of development of this field. Their advice was immeasurable, and I said definitely we wouldn't have a field a playing surplus such as you've seen here tonight on his advice of these two people and Paddy O'Hanlon. I would also like to mention that I would also like to say welcome to Cork and Limerick here tonight. They have played great games in the past. This is the first match even. There were no games played here on this field until tonight, with the club in their wisdom decided that no game wouldn't be played until after the official opening. This is the first game, and I'm sure it will witness the first game of hurling between these two counties tonight. That's all, and I would like to welcome to Donny Neelan, and I'm sure if you want to hear me, you want to see a good game of hurling, and I'm sure that's what you'll see tonight. Thank you.
As many speakers have said, tonight we're paying tribute to one of seven, and we would now ask Stephen Long to reply on behalf of the Long family.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Anne, Kevin's wife, and his family, and on behalf of the Longs, I want to thank Rory and his committee for this magnificent effort. We are grateful, we are honoured, and we are a little proud, I have to admit. They said it couldn't be done. They said the same about Knock Airport when Monsignor Holden wanted to build that, and he built it. And I understand from Rory that it's been paid for and that Ben Dunn was not involved. Thank you very much.
I suppose it would be just as well to say what our expectations are when we bless a place like this. There's nothing magic and there's nothing miraculous about it, in the sense that we don't expect that Feenagh Kilmeedy will win the county championship this year and for 3 years in a row. That would be both miraculous and magical. But what we are doing is we're thanking God for his gift, and we're thanking him for the health we have to enjoy it, and we're asking him to continue to be gracious to us in the coming years. So, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Blessed are you, Lord God, who fills with joy the years of our youth. Give our young people health and strength. Be with them in their sport and recreation. Blessed are you, Lord God, who delights in the company of humankind. Show us how to relate to one another in helpful cooperation. Blessed are you, Lord God, who endow the human body with beauty and skill. Help us to use our energy to help others. Lord, fill with your grace our leisure and our play. Let us pray. Living God, may this place here we dedicate today build up humanity, community, and health among our people. May the competitions and the games to be played here encourage achievement, not bitterness. May the various events to be scheduled here bring us together rather than keep us apart. May we strive for the prize that lasts. May our leisure and recreation play their part in building the community of your love and joy. And the response to Lord, hear us, as you know, is Lord, graciously hear us. Lord, grant eternal rest to Kevin Long and to all the others who played for or worked for the GAA club in Feenagh Kilmeedy. Lord, hear us. We ask your blessing, Lord, on this place and on this community. May we always assemble in peace and joy. Lord, hear us. Make us thankful for the variety of gifts and the differences of personality that enrich us. Lord, hear us. Purge from our hearts all bitterness or thoughts of revenge. Lord, hear us. Lord, we thank you for your continuing health of mind and body, for success and failure when they come our way. Lord, hear us. Lord, help us to compete to the fullness of our abilities, but not to make winning at all costs the pinnacle of our ambition. Lord, hear us. If we achieve success, may we accept it with gratitude. Comfort us with the realization that it is often on the anvil of failure and the true character is molded and shaped. Lord, hear us. May Almighty God send his blessing upon all who are here and in this place and all who work here. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Arachia Feenagh, a Cahir League, agus a Cardiac Gaeli, the Rogue agus Ace, the Ferris Feenagh. An Gaedal Shias, Bawalam sa Cogardicus the end of La Common Kilmeedy, Feenagh Kilmeedy, as na Hashna Nuaim Sir Shahkar or Foil. Agus Bawalam Summer Buyakas a Gualo, as the Tuffa, Conan Oscar de Patul Shah Yenas, Mar Fiacamer, Mar Anor, agus Privilege Dumsa Veliv, Erocard Starul, Ethan Starul, Mar Antanona Shah. He down to Lester Kind Toriella, Mullen Foss, Winter Foss, agus Ibrori Foss, agus an Cushta, Foberan Shah, I Goman Feenagh Kilmeedy, as up the park a Shah, a Cannock, people up Mlino Hin, Freshen, Danim Cogardicus Low, as Forbert the Parker, agus Tokar the Shomer Festis, agus an Aldan Nua. Tan Cogardicus Tiltaka, as na Hashna Shah, Corafal, Duthob na Dueha Shah, the Winter na Dueha Shah, Imrori na Dueha Shah, agus the Gluita Tai Chapped. Tá brodaling, tá brona muito Kilmeedy an Akadsha, tá brona muito Limni agus brona Curl na Moon, Akashna Shashmasha a Ekar. Agus tá Sulagam, go winning the Gluto agus na Himrori Olga, Tanav agus Felt, Tarafa agus Sport as na Hashna Shah is the Bleedta Tala Chaft. Reverend Fathers, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honour and privilege for me to be present with you this evening. First of all, may I congratulate the Feenagh Kilmeedy Club on providing such magnificent facilities for your young hurlers and footballers and for the community in general. I'm deeply honoured and privileged to be asked to do this function, to open this field this evening. It is a distinction for me because I've never been asked to do something like this before. The club deserves great praise for providing such magnificent facilities. When we look around us, we see within 8 years they have provided a magnificent pitch, beautiful dressing rooms, enclosed the pitch and a stand. We must be very proud of the workers who perform that, and I would like to pay tribute to Force like the other speakers, and pay tribute to the Force workers who have done such excellent work here. Recently we hear very much within the GAA, we hear very much reference to the needs of players must be looked after. I think they are looked after. It's only proper that they should be, and that they should be looked after in the future. But I think we sometimes forget, our players forget, maybe our supporters forget too, the appreciation of our officials and our club officials who work might and main fundraising, providing facilities like this. They shouldn't be forgotten. Rory Kiley and his committee and the officers of this club who have provided these magnificent facilities, pitch, dressing rooms and stand for players and supporters, and I'd like that you should show your appreciation of these workers. I know that these facilities will be the focal point for GAA games in this parish and this community because the GAA is intermingled with the community and the community with the GAA. It is appropriate that the pitch is being named in memory of Kevin Long. I am well aware and know what a contribution the 7 Long brothers and their family made to this club and to this community. I know they, in particular, Kevin is the youngest, the others won't mind me saying, I think he was the best of them, but I also saw Dr. Still here playing as well. But Kevin had the distinction of representing his club, winning county titles, representing his county, representing New York, and representing Munster. I had the honour of playing on him and with him. And I'm deeply honoured and privileged that, and it's only appropriate, what contribution the Long family and Kevin in particular made to Feenagh Kilmeedy and to Limerick and to the GAA and to hurling generally, that this pitch should be named after him. And finally, it gives me great honour and a great privilege for me to officially open this field and to dedicate it to the memory of Kevin Long. And I now officially open and declare this pitch the Kevin Long Memorial Pitch. Dormila Margaret.
1997, a milestone for the West Limerick club of Feenagh Kilmeedy with the official opening of Kevin Long Memorial Park, marked by this senior hurling challenge meeting of Limerick and Cork. Limerick playing right to left of the first half in towards the town goal at the Feenagh field. And initially Limerick getting into it with Brian Tobin, and a good ball forward to Barry Foley. A chance, a great save by Cunningham, but it's a goal. A goal inside 20 seconds of play by Barry Foley of Paddockswell. Ger Cunningham managed to get his come on to it, but not sufficiently to keep it out of the goal. Now it's Shawnee Sheehan going around Ger Galvin, the local home boy, to Barry Egan. Can Egan open Cork's account? He can in the 4th minute of the match. Cut. Shawnee Sheehan and Sean O'Neill ahead of him. That's a good cut as well, but it's brilliantly held in the goal line for Cork with Ger Cunningham. No free, and now it's with Pat Mulcahy. In the end, a 65 has been awarded by the umpire down to the goal to our left, and Ger Cunningham, the Cork custodian, has picked up an injury also. Play will resume with this 65, and Ger Galvin has opened his own account and put Limerick on the score sheet with 1 goal and a point now to Cork's 1 point. Linesman and Mark Foley, Young Hurler of the Year in 1996 and an All-Star as well, to take this cut. With his club Adair, he brought them to a county senior hurling championship final, which they lost in replay to Paddockswell only a few months back. This is Cork now picking up the pieces with Jimmer O'Sullivan. TJ Ryan was in battling, and Ryan has done extremely well. Mike Hoolan has gone to his right, but the whistle has sounded and it's a free in, and what should be a simple opportunity for the deputy free taker on this Limerick team in Mike Houlihan, who earlier today performed very well in Kilmallock's downfall of Na Piarsaigh in the first round of the Limerick Hurling Championship. If Houlihan is successful from this, it will increase Limerick's advantage to 4 points as we play 10 minutes of this first half. This is Houlihan to take it. Should be simple, and it is as well. Mike Houlihan. Tony O'Brien for Limerick. Now it's Diarmuid O'Sullivan for Cork. In towards Ronan Dewan, well batted down by John Flavin. Turned inside there, initially by Barry Egan. It's come outside. This is Ronan Dewan trying to open his own account, and he has as well, has the full forward. That's been marked by John Flavin here tonight. Cork have 2 points, so 3 points again separating these teams. And he will take it himself, Will, the centre half back from the Glanmire club. Little or no breeze, so it's well within the range. Here comes Kelleher, striking it then, and he's made no mistake about it, has Timmy Kelleher. As Cork move on to 3 points, Limerick remain at 1 goal and 2 points. Cork going fairly well in the Division 2 of the National League campaign, until surprisingly beaten at Parnell Park in Dublin last weekend by the home county. Limerick players go for it, but the player to emerge it is that dashing wing back, Mark Foley. In for Mike Houlihan, out for Patrick Tobin. Cleared away by Cork, only a few yards as they try to sweep their lines clear. Now a chance for Patrick Tobin. Liam Meany is with him. Tobin is striking, and Tobin has pointed. Patrick Tobin, a late replacement of the Limerick team, getting the better of Liam Meany on that occasion. Well, the camera certainly didn't get in his way. That's a tremendous sideline cut, and it's fallen very well for Barry Foley. Foley inside towards Houlihan, but a vital interception by the Cork fullback in John O'Driscoll. It's still there. TJ Ryan, first time, a point for Limerick. Good first time hurling by the Gary Spillane player, TJ Ryan. 1 goal and 4 to 3 points. The home side in the lead. At centre field, and Barry Foley managing to go inside Donald Murphy. No, he's not. Paddy Coleman gets it only as far as Cork's Shawnee Sheehan. Sheehan in turn blocked down by the Doon man, Paddy Coleman. Coming out to steal the show is Mike Houlihan and win the free as well. Crouched over this in search of his second point, Mike Houlihan. Good deal out from that goal. He didn't connect all that well, but it's sufficient enough to earn a point for Limerick. It was a very low shot, skimmed over the crossbar of Donal Cusack, his second point, towards Martin Hayes and John Foley. It's picked up by Cork over there in the corner as they're making headway towards goal, and this is Joe Dean. Well, he relays the legs, and David O'Shaughnessy has Joe Dean. Can he finish with a point? Albert Shanahan and Alan Brown managing to get it away at the expense of a 65. A moment of danger for Limerick there, which came at the 18th minute. Cork with this 65. Which would narrow the deficit for the Rebel County. This is the strike from Timmy Kelleher. It looks to be dropping short. It got a touch of it come on. We'll credit with Timmy Kelleher with that particular point. Cork could set the Cork boys on their way. That's Martin Hayes in towards Ronan Dwan. And this is Alan Cummins. And Cummins has a wonderful point for Cork. 2 points rattled over by Cork inside 30 seconds of the game. Joe Dean, one of 9 players for Cork that played last Sunday against Dublin. Here he is striking it. It's gone left. It's not going to come in. It might drop short though, and it does. And it's a goal for Cork. Well, how about that? A goal for Cork that draws the match. 1 goal and 5 points apiece. Here he is. He's striking it low again, and he's accurate. Is Mike Hoolan tonight? They always seem to be a little deceptive with this former Kilmallock Ulster. Small parallelogram, and again a good deal of distance in this. Sean O'Neill, John Foley turned inside by Donald Murphy of Cork. In again it is, and here comes Alan Cummins. He's playing it full forward, and yet again another point for him. 45, Donald Murphy. That's Galvin again inside towards Mike Hoolan, but John O'Driscoll is out. But only as far as TJ, and TJ to Mike Hoolan of Limerick. His shot, and another point for Mike Hoolan. Is he to be perhaps the new full form the Limerick team? Sideline cut. It was worth the wait. Down at the 45. He has Hurley and Slither has Martin Hayes. But getting it out there is Alan Brown near to the sideline. That's Ronan Dwan for Cork in towards Joe Dean and David O'Shaughnessy. And Dean has kept it in. So the difference between the sides once again, 3 points, 1 goal and 7 to 7 points. All that separates them is Barry Foley's goal after 15 seconds. Dropped inside by Shawnee Sheehan. A little bit too far perhaps. It's kept inside, a chance for Cork, and a second goal. Joe Dean, it was created by Alan Cummins, and Joe Dean finished it past Albert Shanahan. We were speaking of the goal. Well, Cork have got it, and they're level at the moment. We approach half-time. Striking this one in, and no doubt about it. 4 points from frees, 1 for play. Towards Barry Foley, his namesake. That's Liam Meany to TJ Ryan. Ryan to point for Limerick. There's Tony O'Brien of Limerick looking for support and may find it with John Foley, but instead Barry Egan has capitalised for Cork. And can he finish with a point? It's gone to the left and wide. Albert Shanahan, and with that the half-time whistle sounds here. The half-time score is that of Cork 2-7, Limerick 1 goal and 8 points. So with Cork leading by 1 point at the start of the second half, 2-7 to 1-9, Limerick are coming into attack briskly enough. Towards Mike Hoolan, this is John O'Driscoll back there for covering for Cork. Outside he may get as far as Mick Daly, he does indeed, and Daly completes the clearance for Cork. Towards midfield it is now. Menacingly in towards Hoolan, and the crowd are rallying for Hoolan. Now it's his clubmate in Padraig Tobin, and the sides are level. That's a point from Padraig Tobin. Getting a little bit messy now on this occasion. Can Cork emerge with the slither? Yes, they can, and this is Martin Hayes. Mark Foley put in a challenge, wonderfully won by Joe Dean, and he has time to give Cork the advantage, which he does. This is Mike Houlihan now. Swing it low and accurately between those uprights. The teams are level once more. Fields have been held, but now it's John Flaffin of Limerick to emerge. Keeps it in as well. Now it's Ger Galvin. Shot half blocked down, works its way as far as TJ Ryan. It played low and deliberately for Brian Tobin, who's got inside Pat Mulcahy. And Tobin sends a long shot in, and he's found the range. Brian Tobin has opened his own scoring this evening. Looked from this range that he was indeed wide, but the umpires are much closer to the action than us. 9 minutes into the second half, the teams are level. 2 goals and 9 points for Cork, 1 goal and 12 points for Limerick. An opportunity for Cork to take the lead with Joe Dean. Should be within his compass, and it is as well. Joe Dean's 3rd point of the second half. And Cork forge ahead by just 1 solitary point. Sean Sheehan getting as far as Joe Dean. Took a little bit of a knock. Support is coming in there in numbers for Cork, and indeed Limerick as well. That's Ronan Dwan. Now it's Shawnee McGrath. Sean McGrath is going towards the goal. His low shot results with a point. And a goal, the margin between the teams now. Cork 2-11. Limerick 1-12. On their own defensive 45 are Cork. That's Mike Houlihan, a tidy ball towards TJ Ryan. Yes, it's a score from TJ. TJ Ryan, a valuable point for Limerick. Sideline cut to come. Here it is, chipped across towards the 13-metre line. Unable to hold it, Dave O'Shaughnessy. But this player certainly can, and he punishes the error on behalf of the cornerback. That's another score for Joe Dean. Ger Galvin is a recall for him. Surely it must be now for Barry Foley to open his account on the points front, and he does as well. Barry Foley, his 1st point of the day to add to the goal. To Mark Foley with the resulting free. That's a long, superb effort from Mark Foley. He's leveled the game, has Mark Foley. There could well be a recall to the paddle for Ger Galvin. Mike Houlihan inside. It's with Pat Mulcahy of Cork. Didn't fully connect. Now it's Barry Egan. Having a superb game, as we mentioned, Donald Murphy. Now it's Alan Cummins. In it goes, and Cork are back ahead. 6 minutes remain. Plus stoppage time. Houlihan for what would be his 7th point. Yes, it is. Mike Houlihan, the new look, Limerick full forward. Top to 65, and Galvin. Wonderful catch. Will it be a wonderful point? It is. Ger Galvin, his 2nd point of the evening. 1 in the first half and 1 in the second half. That was a real beauty. Sean Sheehan, the Cork midfielder, doesn't know exactly what he's marking tonight. The crowd have seldom seen Ger Galvin play as well. As Limerick move into a 1-point lead. And that's John Flavin having a good second half for Limerick. This is Mick Daly. Daly's long range effort at their level. Mick Daly of Cove ties the game. That's Sean O'Neill. Lee Meany was there. That's Donald Murphy. Tough challenge over there, and that's it. It is all finished here at Kevin Long Memorial Park tonight with the sides level. 2-14 for Cork, Limerick 1-17.
Pastimes now, Shay, were that they couldn't get the cows milked early enough to be off hurling outside in the lawn.
Right.
That's the earliest memory I would have.
Right, and the backfield, I've seen the field that they actually learned all their skills. Pat showed it to me.
Oh, that was the GA pitch.
The pitch, that was your own, the long pitch.
Oh, the long pitch. Outside. Oh, you were in at your Pat's yesterday.
That's right.
Ah, yeah, that would be my greatest memory. And I can assure you that the one thing I had to have, as you know, the tea ready on the dot, because there was no time to be wasted.
And were they fussy like that?
They were very fussy, Shane.
The tea, and you were left to your truck.
I was on that job,
And when you'd go outside, were you a kind of were you a spectator or were you a cheerer? Or?
Spectator, and you'd have your, you know, they'd play maybe, kind of have a mock game, should I say, and I'd have my favourites, naturally.
Were you put in goals?
No, my sister was putting goals.
Una was putting goals. She was telling me that, all right.
Yeah, Una was putting goals.
And you never got a swing at it at all,
I
did you?
got a swing a couple of times on the forward, and I had a great eye for getting a score.
Right. And like when you're looking, that's the lads really started off in the hurling when I believe Stephen was 4 and Kevin was 3.
As long as I can remember, that would have been,
Was a big thing.
Big thing. And my father, actually, who had as far as I know, no experience, but having all the boys, it was he had really, I think, that introduced them. I mean, was very insistent that they'd be playing games.
Tom, what did you think of proceedings here tonight?
Oh, excellent. Marvellous, yeah. A wonderful achievement.
I believe a great hurler in your day as well.
Ah, well, that's different days and different times and different men, yes.
Pat actually showed me the field that you've learned all yous are hurling in.
Yeah, that's right.
Up in Kilmeedy.
Right in front of the house. In the old days, yes.
Who instigated all the hurling in the family? Who was the first one to get a love for it?
He was the head of the family.
Brendan was he?
Brendan was. Yeah.
And then you were next, were you?
Yeah. Yes, next to the scene, yes.
And what was Kevin like now as a young lad playing hurling?
Oh, he was, from the beginning, he was a gifted hurler. Skillful and had great speed and craft.
You remind me very much of the look of Kevin, do you know that?
Yeah.
Kevin took after you, I think.
Maybe I took after Kevin.
You were the head of the family, isn't that right?
I was the eldest, yeah.
Right. So you instigated these younger boys into the hurling?
Well, there was no problem that way.
Did you all have slitters, proper slitters and sticks in them days?
No, we had not. Spocks, we used to call them. Spocks. It was a bit of a stick with a tub and end of it. Yeah, that's what we had now. And we used to try and make homemade hurlers, and the first clash that you'd have, you see, it was gun in flitters. Yeah.
And I seen the field that just played in.
Oh, that's right. At home in Kilmeedy, you mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's why we let them do hurling.
And Pat was saying you used to get lads from every part of the village coming down to play with us.
Yeah, they used. Well, they used when they were very young, you know. But then when they grew up a bit, you see, they wanted to be with the men, like, and they went to the local hurling field. Yeah.
In with the men, yeah.
So, your memories of Kevin playing hurley, what's your best memory of it?
My best memory of Kevin, I think, is the year that we won the senior county. Yeah, he carried the team in his back.
And was he always of the same temperament now when he was growing up? Like, was he always quiet in his own little way?
He was, yeah, he was. That's true, yeah, he was.
And hurling, was either your mum or dad sporting at all?
Well, my dad never played much hurling because he came from a football parish, Feenagh. But my mother, God rest her soul, was related to the Conways of Feenagh and down near Limerick, you know. And Tommy Conway was the first cousin of ours now, and he was a great Limerick hurler. He was a good inter-county hurler. I don't know did he ever win in All Ireland, but he won inter-provincial with Munster. Yeah, he did, yeah.
So, in your opinion, what did you think of the pitch and the match and everything tonight?
The pitch is a miniature Croke Park. Oh, it is, yeah. No doubt about it, but fabulous is no name for it. Oh, fabulous, yeah. And that's the opinion of everyone, like. That's all right.
And isn't it great to see a small club having such a stand outside the city, like?
Oh, yeah, and it's one of the best around now, you know, and they're half through it yet, like. Half through it, yeah.
I'd say you were very proud now to see the whole thing going off.
Yeah, very proud.
Very happy.
I was 20 when I left Kilmeedy, and Kevin, my youngest brother, was 15 then. And when I returned, when we were allowed to go home after Vatican II, he was 32. So I never really saw him hurling. I wasn't really aware that he was such a good hurler. The opening of the Kevin Long Memorial Park in Feenagh was a wonderful surprise for me and a great tribute to Kevin for his contribution to the hurling in the village. I have very little memories of him because he spent a lot of his time away from us, and he went to boarding school. I don't ever remember having a row with him. He was probably too small. I do remember, you know, using him, if you like, by bribing him with a bar of chocolate to go back to the village and buy something for me and post letters, which he would do. Then when I started coming back home, my memories of him were, he was a very religious man. I'd say I had a lot more conversations about religion, where the church was at, with Kevin than with any of my other brothers. Then the other big thing about Kilmeedy, we were all hurling, and when they were short of somebody for the goals, I would be brought out and put in goal. And they used to tease me, saying no ball could pass me because I was so fat. It was a safe bet to have me in goals. I didn't hear my father say this, but I did hear my brothers say it later, that one time when they were all dead keen on hurling and the cows had to be milked, my father was so annoyed that they weren't turning up for this job, and he said, you might as well take your hurleys, go over to Rogues Cross and take the bus and earn your living, because that's where you seem to have all your interests. I do remember one night when there was a big hurling match, Feenagh were playing Capamore, my mother and myself. I know I milked 15 cows by hand, and I suppose my mother would have done a lot more, but because they never turned up. And because she was such a natural psychologist, she kept praising me for what I was doing. I kept on milking, and we eventually got the whole herd. My memories of Kilmeedy are extremely happy. Absolutely happy, and when I go home now, I love to just walk around the fields, hear the crows, hear the cows, all the sounds, the first sounds I would have heard. I love to go back again and hear them. I'm very fortunate that I have a big family and a very welcoming family, and I would like to pay special tribute to my sisters-in-law, who have always been so welcoming. And of course, I couldn't say enough for Jim, my one and only brother-in-law. He has always been so welcoming. So I'm really very proud to be Kevin's sister and a member of the Long family.